Hey guys, it's me Seren, back with another video. So this is going to be a Wonder Woman review video. I went and saw Wonder Woman with a friend. If I hadn't gone to see it with my friend, I probably would not have seen it this quickly and gotten a review up this quickly. Because even though I was planning on seeing it just because it's DC, you guys know that I was like not super pressed for this movie. Oh, I'm sorry, time. You guys might be able to hear my fan. I have a fan on. Because especially since we're like getting into the warmer months, I have like all my lights on for filming and they really are hot. So I have a fan on. If you can hear like a little whirring sound, that's just my fan. Don't worry about it. But yeah, so I saw Wonder Woman. I saw it on Friday. So that was opening day, I believe, because I saw it with a friend. And so I was like, oh, yeah, I can get a review video up nice and quick for you guys because a lot of you guys wanted me to do a review video and you wanted to know what I thought. So I'm going to stick with the format that I've been doing recently, which is the good, the bad, and the ugly. This will be the first time that I've done this format for a movie that I saw. So let me know what you guys think, if you still like this format, or if for a longer work, like a movie, you guys want me to do kind of like how I did before, which was kind of to just give my little, rundown. So since the movie is still new, this is going to be a spoiler-free review, which is why I also kind of think that the good and the bad and the ugly format is pretty good for this. So let's just hop right into it. Wonder Woman. The good. I didn't hate it. I didn't hate it, which for me, I hate everything, so I feel like the fact that I didn't hate it is a good sign. I thought the sets were really, really good. Like, the sets were great. The costumes were really good. The costumes were amazing, especially because it is a period piece. The hair and makeup was really, really good. But DC has kind of proven now at this point that they can do hair and makeup, they can do costumes, they can give you great cinematography. Like the cinematography in Wonder Woman was great, but DC always gives you, solid cinematography. They always give you something just really beautiful and classic to look at, which is one of my main gripes with Marvel, is that I feel like their movies are very cheesy. They are just not pretty movies. They're just like not nice movies to look at. The cinematography is always all wrong, and the production values to me always seem very low, and DC always seems like they invest maybe a little bit more energy than they put into the plot. They put into the cinematography and making something that looks beautiful, and Wonder Woman really was no exception. It is beautiful up on the screen. It has some really smart use of color and some really great choice of the things that they do with the cameras and the camera angles. Technically, in terms of just the way that the movie looks, it is a very, very good looking movie. I also really enjoyed the supporting cast. I thought the supporting cast was excellent. They were super good. I love Chris Pine. I feel like he's funny and charismatic and likable in every role. He's funny and charismatic and likable in this movie. I also really enjoy him in Star Trek. I thought he was a really, really smart choice for Wonder Woman. I really feel like he propped up Gal Gadot, in my opinion, and I kind of feel like she should thank her fucking lucky stars that they cast him, because she really would not have been able to carry this movie by herself, in my opinion. And I'm going to get to that a little bit more as I get into the bad and the ugly, but I feel like, and a lot of other people I've seen have been saying this too, that they feel like it was his name was Steve, so they feel like it was the Steve and Wonder Woman, it was like the Chris Pine and Wonder Woman. It was almost like they were co-leads, and in a lot of ways, me personally, I felt like he outshined her in a lot of ways. I loved the chemist lady with the mask. She was fantastic. I liked her better than Gal Gadot. She did more with that, role of, and she barely even really talks because she wears this mask that covers, the bottom half of her face. She kind of speaks in this raspy whisper, but she has these like eyes, and she's just like really emoting with, and this is a white lady, a white brunette, of course, and she's just like really emoting, with her eyes and giving you this fire and giving you this energy. She was fucking fantastic. Like, I wish they had cast her as Wonder Woman, but I'm gonna get to that. I loved Chris Pine's secretary. She was super cute, super funny. Just another little spitfire. I loved her. I loved Professor Lupin from Harry Potter. He was in it. He was very good. Just the whole supporting cast. I love Chris Pine had this little crew that I really enjoyed. The whole supporting cast was just fun, funny. charismatic, you know, charming, likable, all the things that Gal Gadot is not. They really propped her. They were really a supporting cast. They supported the shit out of Gal Gadot's non-acting ass. They propped her the fuck up. And I really did enjoy them. There were people of color in Steve's little crew. He had this little like ragtag band of misfits. One of them, I believe, so there was like the Scottish guy. There was I believe a Turkish person of color, like a Middle Eastern. He had like a Turkish fez on. And then there was like a Native American dude. Excuse me. And there were also women of color Amazons. But we are going to get to some of the problems that I had with that. But again, we're doing the good right now. The Amazons had a really unique fighting style that I liked a lot. And I felt like the fight scenes and the action scenes were really well done. Again, the cinematography was really well done. There was a bit of overuse of slow-mo, but I felt like that's kind of a signature of DC at this point, this use of this like slow-mo. And even though Zack Snyder did not do this film, I feel like they probably are still trying to like fit this movie in, you know, with the films that already exist in the DCEU. And Zack Snyder loves a slow-mo shot. He loves a slow-mo shot. So, but overall, I felt like the Amazons had a really great, unique fighting style, and that the fight scenes and the action scenes were really good. They were really well done. That was one of the few places that Gal Gadot actually shined, because she didn't have to actually act. She didn't have to say anything. She didn't have to do anything with her face. She could just, you know, fight. And she's very athletic, obviously. She's very, you know, quick and nimble. She could sell me the fight scenes, because I feel like that's something that's not new for her. So the fight scenes and the acting was not good. But the fight scenes and the action scenes were very good. So that's the good. That's the good. That's it. Let's go ahead and get into the bad. I didn't hate Wonder Woman, but I clearly didn't love it. I don't even know if I would say that I liked it. It's not a movie that I didn't hate it. I wouldn't say that it was a bad movie. It's not a movie that I would watch again. And again, I'm going to get to this a little bit later, but I kind of feel like they made a decent movie without an emotional core in a lot of ways. So like the movie itself was decent. I didn't hate it, but I wouldn't say it was a good movie either. So let's go ahead and get into the bad. I had some minor gripes. There were some technical issues. Again, there was a lot of use of slow-mo. There was a lot of CGI and not enough use of practical effects, in my opinion. And even though I did not like Mad Max at all, Mad Max Fury Road did prove that you can do practical effects and that practical effects can work. You don't necessarily have to use CGI for everything. And there were some scenes where the CGI almost looks like it's a fucking video game. Like scenes where Wonder Woman is like diving off of shit. It's like, I'm watching a video game. I don't know if you guys, how many of you, I'm going to assume hopefully a lot of you, but I don't know how many of you have seen Aladdin, but there's like the scene in Aladdin where they're trying to like get out of the cave or whatever, the Cave of Wonders, where they like find the lamp and they're being chased by the lava, and it literally looks like a video game. There's parts of Wonder Woman to me that literally look like that, and Aladdin came out in like 1997, so that is like not a good sign that there's that much CGI and like that much special effects being used instead of like some practical effects and maybe use of like some, you know, you don't want to have Gal Gadot really like jump off a cliff, but maybe have a stunt woman jump, you know, something like just more practical effects. There were also lots of like heavy religious Christian undertones, but that's to be expected. There were also lots of Christian undertones in Man of Steel. Superman is like literally a Christ-like figure. There's lots of depicting these characters as literal Christ-like figures. When you see them fly, you see them making these crosses, and it's like a bit of it is like really over the top and really overdone. I read a review that said they feel like in a lot of ways they emphasized like the otherness, the alienness, the goddess-like qualities of Wonder Woman a bit too much. And I would say that in a lot of ways, I agree with that, because there are a lot of just really heavy Christian undertones. And it's like, okay, like, we get it. Like, she's here to save the world. Okay, God gave his only begotten daughter. We get it. Like, we got it. Like, we all know the story of Jesus Christ, you know? This is another really minor gripe, but it really became glaring for me personally as the movie went on, and that is that Gal Gadot had on way too much makeup. I know that seems like something small and petty, but there are scenes where you literally can see, like, the winged eyeliner, like the thick black winged eyeliner. You can literally see this, like, pink lip gloss. Like, like, her face looks in some scenes like as if it's covered in makeup. And it's like, she supposedly just came out of, like, a fight. She supposedly just came out of a battle. She supposedly just, like, jumped out of some water. Like, obviously you're going to put makeup on her because it's a movie, right? But, like, give her, like, a no makeup. Like, look at one of these YouTube fucking tutorials and give this bitch a no makeup look. Like, she does not need a thick line of winged eyeliner, like, out to here. It's like, and there's, like, some scenes where, like, it's close up on her face and it's, like, literally out to here. And it's just like, who the fuck's doing this bitch makeup? Even scenes where they're on the mascara, and it's like, who's doing her makeup? Because, of course, like, the story, like, starts there, and then it, like, transitions to London, and they kind of have her go undercover, so she's, like, wearing these clothes. So, okay, even like, then, like, maybe I can, like, suspend my disbelief to think that maybe, like, putting the makeup on. But were they even wearing winged? I don't know. There's just parts where the makeup, to me, is, like, really noticeable and really distracting. But that's really it. There's, like, not too much, like, bad, like, just minor stuff. But the ugly. The ugly. Clearly, I don't like Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman. I wasn't feeling it when they initially cast her as Wonder Woman a year ago. I'm still not feeling it having seen the movie. Now, I love Xena. I said this in my first Wonder Woman video. I adore Xena. I grew up watching Xena, being, like, an obsessed fan. My mom used to be like, you watching that fucking show again? Like, every day, all day, over and over. And Lucy Lawless as Xena is obviously a Wonder Woman, you know, kind of like a play on Wonder Woman. Wonder Woman was obviously an inspiration. Xena has this, like, whip lasso thing. She uses this, like, what is the name? I want to say boomerang, but it's not a boomerang. I can't think of the name of it. It's on the tip of my tongue. It's on the tip of my tongue. I'm going to have to look it up or it's going to annoy the shit out of me. Xena's weapons. What is the name of her fucking... Her chakram. Her chakram. She has her chakram, which, you know, kind of... like, it's all very reminiscent of Wonder Woman. Xena, but Xena and, like, Lucy Lawless and Xena is, like, huge, you know, 6 feet tall with these, like, big thighs, and she just has this, like, the screen presence. And... again, like, I wasn't feeling it when they cast Gal Gadot. She's too small. And she's put on a lot of weight. I will say she put on a lot of weight since they cast her, because in Fast and the Furious, she's about this big. She's real thin. So she has put on a lot of weight since they cast her, but it does still feel like a missed opportunity to cast what has come in, you know, the term is Amazonian, like an Amazonian woman, like a 6 foot tall, 180 pound, you know, Gina, what's her name? Gina Carano, I think that's her name. Used to date Henry Cavill. She's like a professional wrestler, like one of these professional wrestler women, or, you know, someone that's just like really exudes strength and confidence and presence and charisma. Gal Gadot does not give me that. And she did not give me that in the movie. And one of my huge problems with the movie is that I do not believe her as the fierce warrior, the fierceness of Wonder Woman. Now, when they first leave and she's like sweet and naive and, oh, baby, oh, ice cream. And she's giving me soft and she's giving me delicate and she's giving me fragile and she has all this makeup on and she, you know, and she's giving me pretty, beautiful, you know, deer in the headlights, babe lost in the woods, you know, again, Bambi on the, you know, trying to walk on the legs, newborn deer, you know, doe, you know. I believe that. That's something that Gal is selling me. I believe it. But like fierce, charismatic, on the screen, warrior woman, Wonder Woman, no. I'm not buying what the fuck she's selling. Somebody said to me on Twitter, they were like, she was Diana, but she was not Wonder Woman. Like, I believed her as Diana, but I did not believe her as Wonder Woman. Like, she's too small. She doesn't have the screen presence. She doesn't have the charisma. She doesn't have the acting chops. She doesn't have the it factor that you want. Like, Linda Carter had that thing. Like, she had that fucking spark. Like, she had it. Like, she had it. For me, Gal Gadot just doesn't have it, you know, like in Black Swan, movie Black Swan, which is based off of where they're trying to cast for Swan Lake, right? And you have to have a dancer that can be Odette and Odile. That could be the White Swan and that could be the Black Swan. Which we can get into all that light and dark. We could get into that good and evil, pure and sexual. We could get into that, but you know, someone that can be both, someone that can be two things. And again, Gal Gadot gets the Bambi earnestness. She gets the naivete of someone that has been sheltered her whole life. She gets that right. She gets that right. She gets the wide-eyed, I'm in London. Oh my God, everything is new. You know, she gets that right. But not the spitfire, you know, fierceness. There's a scene where she's supposed to be angry. And she's supposed to be like really like lighting into fucking Chris Pine. And I don't believe it. I never believe that she's angry when she's supposed to be angry. And I don't even think she can act well enough that she has the acting chops and the emotional range. I don't even believe that she's sad when she's supposed to be sad. There are some scenes where she's supposed to be very sad. I don't believe that. She just, again, like I said previously in this video, she does not, I feel like they made a decent movie without an emotional center. And what I meant by that was that she doesn't feel like the emotional center of the movie for me. She feels like a placeholder that they're building around with a great supporting cast, right? Like they built a decent movie around her with a great supporting cast, with great fight scenes, with great action, with great cinematography, with great costumes, with great hair and makeup, but she's not great. Gal is supposed to be the center, but instead they built a decent movie around her. But she's supposed to be the center, and she is the weakest part of the movie. And it was just the wrong casting choice. It was just the wrong casting choice for me. It was just all wrong. Like, she just doesn't have the fierceness, the spark, the aliveness of Wonder Woman. Diana, okay, like maybe, like the naivete, the earnestness, okay. But I just, her as Wonder Woman, and even her going on this journey, I just really don't care about her as a character at all. She's not acting well enough, emotionally enough, for me to care about her as a character. I don't care about her hero's journey, which is essentially what this is, right? It's a hero's journey. It's a hero's journey film. She sets out as an innocent, naive girl, you know, that has basically been protected from the world and now has to learn about the world and has to learn about what the world really is and has to learn about who she really is, you know, and on this journey to kind of become Wonder Woman. And the way that they accomplished this with the plot and the premise was really nothing new or special. And she was not good enough to make me overlook that the plot and the premise and this hero's journey was not anything really new or special. Like Suicide Squad had a horrible plot, had no plot, nothing, I don't know. But I loved the cast so much that I was able to overlook that. And I just can't do that with Wonder Woman because I fucking hate her as Wonder Woman. And I am 1000% positive that I saw this exact same plot line of this movie also done much better on Xena. And they also have Amazons on Xena. And they have Amazons of all different races, of all different ethnicities, of all different sizes. They have disabled Amazons because Amazons are supposed to be fierce warrior women. They have, you know, all these different types of things going on. And I actually give a shit about Lucy Lawless as Xena. I do not give a shit about Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman. I just don't really think she can act. I don't think she has that certain something, the gravitas, the whatever. I think she's getting by on a pretty face and on her athleticism because, again, she does do well in the fight scenes and in the action scenes. But other than that, she's very flat to me. She's just very one note. She can't emote very well, which is why I said earlier that the Dr. Poison lady this bitch is emoting. All you see are these eyes, but woo, these eyes are popping off the screen. You know exactly what this woman is thinking, what she's feeling. She has this tempestuousness swirling around her. And that's what I want from my Wonder Woman. It doesn't have to be like tempestuous evil energy, but something like that is what I want from my Wonder Woman. I want that fire. She's fucking Wonder Woman, you know? Like, and Gal Gadot just doesn't do it for me. And for me personally, this is a minor gripe that I guess could have went in the bad and not the ugly, but I also find Gal Gadot's accent to be incredibly distracting. She has this really thick, heavy accent. And it seemed like and she also had it in Fast and the Furious. She's had it in a bunch of things that I've seen her in. It's kind of this like Eastern European tinged, Israeli tinged, Mediterranean tinged accent. And it's, you know, and she's like, his name's Steve, and she's like, Stiv. And it seemed like they tried to work around that by having all the Amazons have these kind of like different accents. Like everyone that speaks has like a different accent. And there is a line of dialogue where she even says like, oh, you know, like, oh, he says like, oh, how can you read that? It's like ancient Sumerian. How can you read that? And she says like, oh, we speak hundreds of languages. But it's like, yeah, okay, or you could get a vocal coach. Like, bitch, you could get a speech coach. You could work on your diction. I can't understand you. And it's not like you're emoting with your eyes. So I need something. I need something to happen there. Like, get her a voice coach and an acting coach, I beg of you, before well, I think Justice League is already wrapped. But before Justice League 2 or Wonder Woman 2 or whatever, I need her to get a acting coach and a voice speech coach ASAP, because it just does not work for me. So going back to the diversity and the people of color, which was really, aside from Gal Gadot being Wonder Woman, which was really my hugest gripe with the movie, it's nice that there are people of color. It's nice that they have the Turkish dude, who's, you know, one of the main members of Steve's little ragtag crew. It's nice that they have the Native American, you know, in his little band of misfits. But I have to say that the depiction of hardly any black people in World War I Europe is jarring. It was jarring. Black Brits exist. Black French people exist. Black Germans exist. And there were black American soldiers that fought as well in World War I. Please look up the Harlem Hellfighters. We exist. We were there, you know? And I also want to say that European ideas of segregation were not the same as in America. I feel like this is something that really gets overlooked when we have these conversations, you know, especially considering that you had black American entertainers and athletes that left America and went abroad to Europe to find success. Prime example, Josephine Baker, right? So it's like, there were black people. There were even prominent black people. There were black people fighting in this war. There would have been black people around. It would not have even been the same as like Jim Crow era style segregation, which is what we think about because the movie's not set in America, you know? And in addition to that, the movie's also fiction. Like, Wonder Woman is like an Amazon that can fly and has magic. And, you know, there's just all different types of things, you know, that we can mess around with and that we can play around with and storylines and stuff like that. You know, I can believe that a Native American found their way over here to Europe because there's a Native American main character in Steve's, you know, crew, but not a black person. When France has outposts all over Africa, when Britain has outposts all over Africa, when European colonizers are literally crawling all over Africa, I'm supposed to believe that this, like, little bit of POC and practically zero black people, it's not believable. To say what y'all love to say to us, it's not believable. It's not believable to me. It's white supremacist revisionist history. And so there's that, you know? And that just feels like a glaring oversight to me. And it even continues in the Mascara. You know, the scenes set in the Mascara are gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. Like this island paradise is gorgeous, and the water, and again the costumes and the lush green grass and the forest, and again in these sets, these castles and these buildings. But again, it's like weirdly shallow. Like there are women of color, but they don't really talk. Like they don't really say shit. They're window dressing. They're set dressing. You know, like the Amazons of Xena, again, are just brilliant and fully fleshed out. These women in this multi-million-dollar movie, which of course is not, you know, does not have the scope of a show that goes on for 10 years or however long Xena went on. But it's like these women fell flat in so many ways. Like we don't really see any customs we don't see them eating together. We don't see them talking to each other. We only see them training, someone dies and we don't see any type of funeral pyre or death rites. And these are supposed to be warrior women, right? Like, they would have death rites. And that flatness in a movie that's supposed to be like women, fully fleshed out, women characters, was just so disappointing to me. And again, there were just still not enough women of color. There were hardly any non-black POC Amazons, and all of the black Amazons, the black women, were, again, window dressing. They were set dressing. They were set pieces. And even outside of the Mascara, when they're going through Europe and London and stuff, they show, like, some black people. But, again, it's like one black person in a crowd, And in the Mascara, it's like, there's what appears to be, like, a black nanny character. We don't really know because she doesn't say anything except Diana over and over again. When, like, little Diana runs away, she's, like, chased across the island by this, like, black woman that I guess we assume is meant to be a nanny because she's not wearing, like, the armor or whatever. And she's like, Diana. But that's all she says. We don't really know anything else about her. There's, like, a big black woman that's seen during a training montage that, again, doesn't say anything. Some people say that she was supposed to be Philippus, who, in canon, is the one that trains Diana and trains her to be a fucking badass bitch from hell, basically. And that is the role in this movie that they give Robin Wright, a white actress, as Antiope, her aunt. They basically whitewashed the character. They changed the character from Philippus, this black woman, to Antiope, her white aunt. And it's just like, why? For what? What's the purpose? And Robin Wright was amazing. Robin Wright was amazing as Antiope. I kind of wish that Robin Wright could have been her mother, the queen of the Amazons, and they could have kept the Philippus character as the trainer. I think that would have been great. I think that would have elevated the movie in a lot of different ways. Again, there's lots of black women and women of color riding around on horses that literally say nothing. They say nothing. They're window dressing. They're tokens, right? They're tokens. They're just there. They're just there just so we can say that they're there. But they really don't do anything, say anything, move the story along in any way. And again, it's so funny that people keep saying, why would there be black Amazons? It's like, well, but black Amazons, number one, in this story, they are canon. Nubia, who is Diana's twin sister, who some people were disappointed not to see in the movie. Some people were saying if they do Wonder Woman 2, which I'm 100% positive they will, that they want to see Rutina Wesley play Nubia, which I think would be really great. But, like, Nubia is canon, Philippus is canon, and also they twisted the origin story a little bit. Like, you can change things as well in a movie. Like, there's no reason for them to not be there. Like, what's the reason for them to not be there? Like, it's fiction. It's fiction. And Nubia and Philippus are canon main characters, and they basically made Antiope, her aunt, the trainer, when Philippus is actually Diana's trainer. So, again, this is, like, an instance of, like, a black canon character being changed or, like, adjusted into this, like, white character, And that was disappointing. I thought it was disappointing. And again, just, like, overall, I just didn't feel like the movie was special. I know a lot of people feel, have really strong feelings. They feel like the movie was special and it spoke to them and they loved it. And that's great. I'm not trying to, like, take anything away from anybody. But for me, there was nothing special about this movie except for, like, the supporting cast, which I really did enjoy. But obviously, none of these characters in the supporting cast are going to be coming back for Justice League, which sucks. And I already know that I'm not feeling Ben Affleck as Batman, and I'm not feeling Ezra Miller as the Flash, because I like Grant Gustin as the Flash. And I'm not feeling Amber Heard as Aquaman's wife, because just why Amber Heard and not an indigenous woman? Like, how does Amber Heard make sense? Like, we enter into these, like, movies and shit, and it's just like as we always say, like, the default setting is white, and it's like everything else that has to be explained as to why it makes sense. And I'm, like, coming in like the opposite direction. How does Amber Heard make sense as his wife? How? I don't understand, I have concerns. And I'm a DC fan. You guys know I'm a DC fan. Somebody on Twitter was like, oh, you're talking shit about Gal Gadot because you're a Marvel fan. I was like, first of all, how dare you? How dare you call me a fucking MCU fan? You shut your mouth when you're talking to me. You take that back right now. Like, I'm a DC fan. I'm a DCEU fan. I loved Man of Steel. I love Suicide Squad, you know? Like, but I just had trepidations about this movie, and it lived up to my shitty expectations, basically. And I also had trepidations about Batman versus Superman, because I did not like Jesse Eisenberg as Lex Luthor. I did not like Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman. I did not like Ben Affleck as Batman. And that one also lived up to my shitty expectations. So I have concerns about Justice League, y'all. I have concerns. But we're off topic. Anyways, yes, Wonder Woman. Wonder Woman review. That's what I thought. And of course, this is going to be the one DCEU film, that people have decided they're going to love, which is unfortunate, which means they're probably going to continue moving in this direction. So, I don't know. We'll see. It's just like Suicide Squad, for example, had more diversity and more women of color and black women specifically in main speaking roles than Wonder Woman. Suicide Squad had more women of color and black women specifically in main speaking roles than Wonder Woman. Really think about that, right? That's how I feel about Wonder Woman. I know it's going to be like a lot of people that's like really upset about this review video, but that's just how I feel about it. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. Food for thought as always. See you guys next time. Peace.